Hello, America. It's about time we have another conversation about a growing movement in the United States. And that movement is increasingly banning books. And why now? More than ever, readers should be reading banned books. Hello, welcome to my channel, Another Bibliophile Reads. My name is Greg, and in 2024, I have been participating in a challenge created by MJ at Reading This Life, and this challenge was called 24 in 24, and the challenge was to read 24 banned books in the year 2024, and I have finished my 24th book. And I want to talk a little bit about book banning in the United States. A lot of people are going to be talking about how you really define a banned book, because if you say the book is banned and not available for sale anywhere, then that is not the actual definition that most people are using. I will be reading a definition from PEN America. We define a book ban as any action taken against a book based on its content that leads to a previously accessible book being completely removed from availability for students, or where access to a book is restricted or diminished. That means it could be banned, it could be restricted, or it could be challenged. Perhaps we should try our own movement of BROC, the initials of banned, restricted, or challenged, for the book ban. I tend to like just calling it a book ban myself, but some people get fussy about the definition of banned books. But it is not limited to books that are banned. Books that are restricted or challenged equally fit the book ban definition. I would also like to read a statement from the American Library Association talking about the 2024 Banned Books Week. This is from the honorary chairperson, Ava DuVernay. I believe that censorship is the enemy of freedom. By banning books, we deny ourselves the opportunity to learn from the past and to envision a braver future. Books have the power to open minds and build bridges. This is why certain forces do not want the masses to engage with books. They fear progress and growth in new, bold directions. For this reason, Banned Books Week is vitally important. And I'm going to say that Banned Books Week should be a year-long event, especially the way America is turning in its politics and its attitude towards books. Now, more than ever, it's important for readers, all types of readers across all genres, to engage with these books that other people say we should not be reading. Read banned books. And I am going to provide some links to some banned books. The ALA has a list of the top 100 banned books from the 90s, the aughts, and the 10s. PEN America has a very extensive Excel spreadsheet that you can download that shows the currently banned books in the United States. It shows by region and state, title, and author. It's a pretty good list. I had originally wanted to create a master database of banned books in the United States, but it seems like PEN America is doing the job for me and will save me the trouble. I did import that Excel spreadsheet into a database because I used to be a database programmer before I retired, and I just wanted to get a closer look at the data. Their Excel spreadsheet has 10,046 rows. And if you run it through some deduping, you discover that there are 4,231 individual titles that have been banned in the United States, and that is 2,409 authors. Those are an awful lot of banned books. Maybe I will do something with this master database at home, but I just may leave it up to Pen America. I will also provide some links to some books banned in Florida, because, you know, Florida just has to ban a whole lot of books. But do take a look at this data to see what books are banned in your state. As I said, I have finished my 24 banned books in 24. In fact, I'm going to go over just a little bit. I will probably finish 26 banned books in 24. There will be a complete list of the books that I read in this video description. I will hold up just a few to talk about. Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury, one of the greatest science fiction novels of all time. It is a novel about burning books, about banning books. And I'm not surprised that people want to still ban this. Cat's Cradle by Kurt Vonnegut. In this novel, he mocks religion, but it's a poignant mockery. It is humanist. It is humorous. It is important because he gets to the core of religion. And of course, if you are a strong believer in religion, you're not going to want people to read this. Ulysses by James Joyce, one of the most famously banned books in the English language. Yes, there are some naughty words. There are some sex scenes, which really aren't all that graphic. But if you are afraid of sex, you're going to be afraid of Ulysses, because he talks quite frankly about people's desires. Salem's Lot by Stephen King. This baffles me. It's about vampires in a small town. I mean, sure, vampires are fantasy creatures, but there are so many books with fantasy creatures and monsters and other supernatural happenings. I just can't fathom why someone would want to ban this. Jude the Obscure by Thomas Hardy, one of my favorite novels of all time. This is a powerful story. This is a grim story. This is a fatalistic story. When it was published, the public rose into a huge hue and cry saying, immoral, immoral, immoral. This is the story of Jude. He is divorced, or not quite divorced. His wife has left him, and he has taken up living with another woman. They are not married. They love each other. They have children together. Oh, how dare they do that? They don't follow a religion. Again, one of the great English novels and one of my favorite books that I've ever read. But it has to be banned because it's irreligious. The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian by Sherman Alexie. This is a young adult novel. It is about a 14-year-old Indian boy living on the reservation. He sees the poverty of the reservation, and he wants to get out of that. He wants to make something better for his life. So he decides that he's not going to go to the reservation schools. He is going to go to an all-white school. Needless to say, some of the white parents do not appreciate an Indian mixing in with their white children. There is very frank racism in this, and it is the racism that its frankness to show just how deplorable some white people could be to other non-white human beings is why this book gets banned so often. I did not particularly like this book, basically because it is focused for young adults, and I am really beyond that demographic, but it is important for people of that age to read a book like this. I can totally see a non-white child totally digging this novel. Those are some of the banned books that I read in 2024. The challenge that MJ created will continue to the year 2025. She has started a I'm with the Band book group on the Fable app. If you want to read banned books in 2025, I will leave a link in the description of this video so you can join our club. She is a moderator. I am a moderator. Pat at Book Chat with Pat is a moderator. And I think Debbie at Rainier Reads is also going to be added as a moderator. Each month, we will pick a banned book to read and discuss. December is going to be A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. This is the second in her series of books that have been banned by Utah. January, we are going to be reading Beloved by Toni Morrison, but the rest of the year is still open. If you want to read banned books, come join us. Make suggestions about books that you want to read that have been banned, restricted, or challenged. And I hope everyone will join in and read at least one or two banned books in the year 2025, because the people who dislike books are only going to get more vigilant, and they're going to want to ban more books. I fear that they are going to try to extend their book bans out of just school libraries, because these are people who are frightened by what you can find in a book. The content scares them. But honestly, there's very little to be offended by in these books. If you don't want to join the I'm with the Band club, I encourage everyone to pick up at least one or two banned books in the year 2025. I do not expect everyone to have to read 25 banned books in that year. That is a bit of a stretch for a lot of people. So try one, try two, maybe a little more. Because when you read a banned book, a challenged book, a restricted book, you are telling the people that I have the freedom to read whatever I want. Sometimes the books you read may not be your cup of tea. Last year, I read a graphic memoir called Gender Queer by Maia, Kobabe. I had not intended to read this, but on one of my previous videos on banned books, a commenter said that that book was grossly obscene. So, that's a different type of challenge. So I had to see what was obscene about that book. It's really kind of a stretcher to call it obscene. It is a memoir of a non-binary person trying to celebrate their life. Now, I'm not non-binary myself, so I may not completely be in tune with their perspectives of the world, but it's important to have that book available to people like them who want to know more about their identity and people like themselves. That's why these books are so important. The fact that I didn't like it is of no substance whatsoever. Many people will read Gender Queer and find it very enlightening. Some people like me are going to go, nah, not for me. But the people who find it gross or obscene just seem to me to be closing off their minds. So that's why the books need to be available. That's why people need to read books. banned books, now more than ever. Thank you for watching, and keep on reading banned books.